Hello, algoriters. Court is back in session, and we have a special show for you tonight. We have a incredible lineup. I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge of the Court of Public Opinion, and I'll be sharing with you all of the topics and the new attorneys that we have joining us tonight. The Court of Public Opinion, as you know, is the place where you, the people's voice, can and will be heard. Be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget that subscribe button. If you've already subscribed, be sure to hit that share button and invite somebody to come on over here to this good show. And don't forget, we love all your comments. So drop down in that comment section and be prepared. I told you tonight is going to be a different show. We're going to offer and open up the platform to help you with any legal issues that you may have. So get your questions prepared for that. All right, let me introduce our legal beagles. Let's welcome back Attorney Symone Redwine.
Hey guys, I've missed you. I'm so happy to be back.
Welcome back, Symone. Now, Symone Redwine, don't forget, she is the red wine emoji. So if you're enjoying and can't wait to hear from Symone Redwine, throw some red wine emojis into the chat. Also tonight, we have civil attorney Chaton Turner returning with her feisty commentary. Chaton Turner, welcome to the Court of Public Opinion.
Thank you. Hi, algoriters. I like the summer break, and I'm glad to be back.
All right, now, algoriters, we got to give Chaton a whole lot of sensitivity tonight. Her power went out, you know, and so did Attorney Redwine. Attorney Redwine, you know, lives in Houston, and they have power issues. She's still in a hotel, so we may have a few technical difficulties tonight, but we're going to make it through and still give you a great show. And last up, we have a new legal expert, a new legal beagle, the one, the only, Counselor Xavier Prater, former Big Brother winner, and also you've seen him on TGIF's, Fox Soul's TGIF, doing some legal commentary. Xavier, welcome.
What's going on, everybody? I'm excited to get into these cases. We got a lot to get into, so let's just, Judge, let's go ahead and let's get right into it.
Let's get into it. All right, Chaton, what is your emoji again?
Fire.
All right, so don't forget, that's right. For me, it's the fax machine. For Chaton, it's that fire symbol. For Symone, it's that red wine bottle glass. And all right, Counselor Xavier, what would you like for your emoji to be?
I want the bald head emoji. I want that because bald heads need more respect. They need more love. So go ahead and flash that bald head emoji in the chat if you digging what I'm saying. I need that.
All right, bald head emojis. All right.
Ooh, like a bald-headed scallywag. I was running around the Essence Festival like a bald-headed scallywag.
Let's see that bald head emoji in the chat, everybody. Xavier, welcome, and thank you for joining us on the panel of the Court of Public Opinion. All right, everybody. First up, we have Rachel Lindsay. Her divorce has landed her in the Court of Public Opinion. And man, is this case getting messier and messier by the week. Attorney Symone Redwine, take this away and tell me what is going on and why is this man stealing all her money?
Because he is a raggedy ass man of God, okay? Child of God. This man, okay, this is totally ridiculous. So when the two married, which was 4 years ago, they were equally yoked. He was a doctor, although barely. He's a chiropractor. And she an attorney. They made equal sums of money, so there was no prenup. Fast forward, after doing and meeting on The Bachelor, her career has taken off, and he has tried to transition into being an influencer, and nobody cares. As a result, he hasn't made much from that. So now he wants Rachel's money, specifically in order to try and just resolve this marriage after 4 years. He's now claiming that he only brings in about $1,600 a month. That's from some rental properties. He's not listing any money that he makes from influencing or from being a chiropractor, and claims his expenses are $17,000 a month approximately, and that's what he wants from her. She's offered him $10,000, and he says absolutely that's not enough. So here he wants what's called palimony. Alimony is for women, palimony is for men. And the question is whether she should have to give this man $17,000 because for the last 2 years, he's gotten used to a standard of living with her. Womp, womp, womp.
All right, Attorney Chaton, you're the civil attorney here. Talk to us. You have a similar situation going on. Is it legal? Is it legal for him because he's not making money to ask for palimony from his working wife?
Well, as everybody on this panel knows, people can make legal claims about a variety of things. In this case, because they were married, he has the right to demand spousal support. And in California and many other states, this is determined by percentage. And so he's asserting that his standard of living can't be maintained unless she supports him. And the court has to evaluate that in light of all factors. One of the things I think that's most interesting is that he has a profession. He has a way of earning income. And the reason the spousal support formula is the way it is because it's supposed to prevent the lower earning spouse from being destitute. It is not supposed to be the come up for people who have jobs and go to work every day so that they can exploit the earnings of the higher earning spouse. He is saying that he needs her to pay him $210,000 in order for him to live the life that he's become accustomed in 4 years that he couldn't make for himself in his entire professional career.
All right, let's hear from the only man here on the panel today, Attorney Xavier. Okay, let's turn the tables. If this was the man who was making the most money and the woman was no longer employed, would we be in an uproar for this type of request?
Would we be in an uproar? Tough to tell, but I gotta speak personally. I know Rachel Lindsay. When I came off Big Brother, she was one of the first people I reached out to. We're both Marquette alums. She's kind of been somewhat of a mentor to me. So I am somewhat biased on this from a personal standpoint. $16K a month? Come on now. I could maybe understand that amount if you guys had children or other aspects where it made sense, but you were married, you guys don't have any children. Your expenses are based off what? Bills, car insurance, rent, entertainment, and food. Like, come on now. What's that entertainment? Are you going courtside every night? Where are you eating? Are you eating at Gordon Ramsay's every night? Like, come on now. Like, don't just because like her income is because she is Rachel Lindsay. Okay, she was the first Black Bachelorette. She was a correspondent on E. Like, she did a lot of these things. I don't know that if he wasn't in the picture, I still think these opportunities that led to her success would still be there for her. And now it just kind of seems like he's trying to grab at it. If the situation were reversed, would people pay much attention? I don't know, but this is the situation that it is. And honestly, I feel for Rachel.
Okay, so this is my question, because I'm hearing a lot of bias on the panel, and y'all know I don't like that in my courtroom. I need for you lawyers to tell me right now, if this was not a woman, a man trying to get money from a woman, would we have a problem with his percentage? A percentage is a percentage of the percentage. It's the percentage that all courts use. If the percentage is that he deserves $16,000 a month because that's her salary and that's how successful this first history-making Black female bachelorette makes, why shouldn't he get it?
No,
Judge Al. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It is exploitation. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to go out of pocket for a second. I would have a problem if it was a woman too, but because this is a grown man who chose a career for himself, they were only married 4 years, as Xavier indicated. They did not have children. And what is he trying to, support? She hooked him up when they were together. They are not together anymore, so he should fend for himself.
So
exactly.
Attorney Chaton, you're telling me that the court should abandon all formulas that we use across the nation when we're dealing with divorce and separations because he's an able working man, and you feel like it's extortion or exploitation?
When you phrase it that way. But what I'm suggesting is that the formula needs to be revisited in situations where the spouse who's seeking it has the ability to support themselves. It's a short marriage and there were no children. Because
there's a term for it. The courts do. It's called intentional underemployment. This man is a doctor. They were married only 4 years. He is intentionally choosing. Chiropractors, everybody. People slip, fall, break the neck, break the back, whatever. He's choosing not to go and work for anyone else. Back in Miami, he had his own practice. Howdy doody. Howdy frickin' do. Get up and go to work. Yeah, grown man, and you were only married 4 years. And for the last 2, it's only when the numbers were substantially higher. Prior to that, their money was more equal. So I think I would feel the same way. Either gender, if we're talking about a doctor and a lawyer, 2 able-bodied, where one of them is choosing, because he don't want to be a chiropractor no more. He wants to be an influencer, but nobody cares. Personal problem.
Which, when you choose the influencer route, you assume the risk of whether or not it's going to work out. Like, not every person who chooses to be an influencer is going to be that influencer that you see on TikTok, on Instagram, popping off with all the lavish cars and all the exact, like, that doesn't always happen. You take that gamble when you choose the influencer route. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. And if you're in the situation where it doesn't, you can't then go to your ex-wife and try to get in her pockets because your goal didn't work out.
Ooh. All right. We're hold on, Attorney Chaton. All right, everybody. We've got a whole lot of temperatures rising and going on in the courtroom today. I'm going to move on off of this topic. I want us all to remember, when we do another case, though, I want y'all to have the same energy as it relates to if the roles are reversed. But we're going to see what the final verdict is here in the court of public opinion, because court of public opinion doesn't always equal what's legally right, correct? Moving along. Ex-adult star suing Diddy. Not another lawsuit with Diddy in his case. She's claiming that she was sex trafficked, and she also has demands if you want her to tell her side of the story. All right, Attorney Xavier, tell me what exactly is going on with this Diddy case.
So in this Diddy case, the woman here, she has accused Diddy of sexual assault and sex trafficking, which honestly, we've all seen the news like lately. This is nothing new to Diddy's slew of lawsuits. Where this is a little more interesting are kind of some of the demands that she's making in regards to anybody seeking an interview with her to learn more information. She wants first-class flights. She wants hair and makeup. She wants to stay in the hotel. Like, she's asking for a lot more, but her team is primarily asking this on her behalf. They're basically saying, like, you know what? If you guys want her to tell her story, you're going to have to make it worth her while. You're going to have to give her a little bang for her buck. And in regards to whether or not that's right or wrong, I mean, it is her story to tell. So if those things make her feel a little bit more comfortable, that's for the court of public opinion to determine.
That's right, and we're going to give it the court of public opinion. Attorney Symone Redwine, talk to me here. I want to know legally, real quick, before you tell me what you think about her making all these requests. Legally, how is this looking for him? It seems like every other week or every other 2 weeks, there's a new case that's bubbling up about an offense of something that he's done in sex trafficking, in abuse, in drugs. Tell me, how is this looking? And if you were his lawyers, where would your mind be right now?
My mind, if I were his attorney, my mind would be on, but can you pay me? Do you have proof of funds? Let's discuss this retainer. Because just last week, a team of his attorneys on a civil matter have withdrawn from the case. And it appears that they withdrew as a result of him being unable to pay. We now know he's also put one of his multi-million-dollar homes on the market. So as we see these additional cases, and again, all of these are civil. With civil cases, you do not have a right to an attorney because your freedom is not at stake. So you've got to pay these private lawyers. So as more people continue getting in line, the question becomes, I don't think a lot of these lawyers are going to get to be paid. Interestingly here, Adria's attorney, the plaintiff here's name is Adria English. One of her attorneys is a woman named Ariel Mitchell. And Ariel Mitchell also represented a woman that came out claiming that Chris Brown had done the same thing to her. And it was ended up finding out that wasn't true. And Ariel actually stepped down from the case. So she's been associated with a number of these cases. So I'm very interested to get into the facts and to see how it works out. But I would not be surprised if, even if the allegations are true, this woman, unfortunately, may never see a dime because Diddy may not have the dime to give.
Wow. Okay, Attorney Chaton, what do you think about all of these outrageous things that she's requested. Now, she sounds to me that those are requests that comes from celebrities and movie stars and television hosts. Like, that's what we get when we go do interviews. We're able to get hair and makeup. We're able to get first class seats. What and why do you think she's asking for all of this?
Because she's a star, baby, and this is her moment. And so she is saying that she's going to get coverage, and that's why she wants it. I mean, as you know, what people get is what the market will bear. And so once one organization provides that to her to hear the story, if they think it's valuable enough, then it's going to set the trend and others are going to have to fall in line. I think the interesting thing about this with Diddy is, quite frankly, he's vulnerable to anybody he was ever in a plane with accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking, because it's so rampant now that he has a credibility problem.
Yes.
I want to speak to that writer, though. And I think Xavier and I being two, the two on the panel today who've been on reality TV, I think what we can speak to is what many people don't realize is that you do not get paid for interviews. You do not get cash money from interviews, not from any legitimate entity, not TMZ, not ABC, not CBS. You may get a blogger to pay you, but you're not going to get that from other entities. So the only way in which you can ensure that you're not going to basically lose money by coming to tell your story is to be very clear with what you need to get there. So a lot of what she's asking for, it is called a writer. Someone in the comments has stated that, is she's asking for 2 first-class flights from LA to New York for she and her husband. She's asking for 2 additional flights for her attorneys. You want your attorneys there because when you're going to be talking, the attorney can stop the interview if you're saying too much or saying something that may hurt your case. You want that. The first-class flights, it's actually standard. Every major Fortune 500 company that I'm aware of, if you work for them and you're taking a flight that's over 4 hours, they're going to bump you up, just the average manager employee, to a first-class flight. So that's not unreasonable either. And I do want to be clear, it's stating that she's not asking for cash. She's just asking to be very clear about her transportation, her accommodation. She wants a 4-star hotel. She also has asked for a specific makeup artist. As a child actress, that's because we get to your set and you have hair and makeup people that are used to Caucasians, and we end up looking like Casper the Ghost.
That's so true. That's happened to me.
There you go.
That's happened to me multiple times. Okay, so we talked about what she's asking, and we talked about the fact that maybe he can't afford his attorneys. But then let's talk about then why Cassie, she's outraged. She's outraged by Diddy's river rafting and jet setting. If his money's so short, Attorney Symone Redwine, how is he able to go on these water rafting, river rafting, and jet setting excursions?
Oh, it's for his mental health. Oh, it's his mental health. I think that's the excuse that he's going to use, is that, oh, well, he still has to do things for himself. He's got to get out. He's got to be active. No, you don't. You can be like the rest of us poor people. You can go to Planet Fitness. You can go, or maybe not Planet Fitness, okay. But you don't need to be, I do believe that public leisure activities aren't boding well for your case. But I also believe he's probably particularly stressed right now because the grand jury is hearing evidence as we speak about his antics. And there is no way that this grand jury will not come back with at least one indictment.
Right. Attorney Xavier, what are your thoughts on him still jet setting, though? Here in the court of public opinion, we've said that it's the optics. And we're saying that the optics, even though legally you're not doing anything wrong, but in the court of public opinion, the optics just aren't good for you to be under so much scrutiny, so many civil lawsuits at the tune of several $100 million, that you're jet setting and you're going to Ibiza and you're going to Paris and you're going to all these fancy places to still enjoy your life. What are your thoughts here, attorney?
I think by doing that, you look like you're not taking the case seriously. You look like you're kind of undermining the severity of these allegations, and you're almost, in a sense, being insensitive to what they're alleging that you did. And to me, that's a terrible look in the public eye, because these are serious allegations. Women are saying that you've done horrendous things to them. Why are you whitewater rafting? Why? Don't go to a damn water park. sit at home and think about what these people are accusing you of. Take some time to reflect and figure out, okay, how can I be better moving forward? How can I show these victims or alleged victims that I'm taking this matter seriously? Going whitewater rafting doesn't convey that. Going whitewater rafting says that, oh, my lawyers will handle it. That's not a good look. That's a terrible look.
Attorney Chaton, I think you're absolutely right. Attorney Chaton, talk to me about, if you were his attorney, what advice would you be giving him? I know that you haven't been here with us too long because we've covered the Diddy Do It case and we've given him advice. What advice would you be giving Diddy right now?
Under these circumstances, I'd be like, stop it. Just don't do these things. I think that ties into what we discussed during the last show that Symone and I were on, which is why they took down his social media accounts, because there was all this evidence. Some of it they probably thought supported the case directly, and some of it they thought was this optics problem, which looks like he's minimizing the suffering of the victims and lacks contrition. There's a fine line here, right? He's got criminal allegations, he's got civil allegations. On the civil side, he wants to show that he deeply regrets that these women feel as if he did something wrong to them. He needs to communicate that without accepting responsibility because there was those outstanding criminal charges. So it's a fine line, but he's not going to make any traction on trying to get the civil ones to go away with this approach. And, Cassie's attorney said flippantly after seeing him whitewater rafting that the waters were going to get choppier as the case went along because, he was not amused. But one other thing I think as it relates to the cost factor, what I think it'll probably play out, right? Because when you've been rich, you have rich friends. It probably is going to come out that he didn't actually pay for these. Somebody else paid for them, but I don't think it matters because that's not the issue. It's the issue that Xavier said.
Right. And I'm going to go back to this. The advice that I would be giving him as the judge here at Court of Public Opinion, he needs to be going to maybe spending time with his daughters, being seen out with his daughters, doing kind stuff with his daughters, so that it will combat this image that he just takes advantage of women at his will. He needs to probably also be doing some type of volunteer work or putting time in a homeless shelter, if not a homeless shelter, a woman's shelter, a battered woman's shelter, giving money or setting up whatever influence he has left to lean into what they're saying he is, and especially if he is not what they're saying he is. Anybody, attorneys, want to add to this before we move on?
Your Honor, if I may interject briefly, I remember Diddy came out with that apologetic video where he's saying, oh, I was messed up. I wasn't in the right mind frame. What I did, it was terrible. That's a great starting point, but then your actions need to align with that.
That's correct.
You need to be doing things that show that statement wasn't just a PR stunt. That statement was something that you truly, genuinely felt, and now you're actively taking steps to prove that. And maybe whitewater rafting was him, connecting with nature to just free his mind and things like that. But then if you're going to show that, show some of the other things that you're doing to follow suit with what you said in that statement.
Absolutely. And what and I've said this before, at this case, shouldn't he be in therapy of some sort? Shouldn't he be in rehab of some sort? If his attorney could get him into rehab, it would take him completely out of the media's spotlight. And it would help mediate a lot of this that's showing him, basically what it looks like is that he doesn't care, that he's going to continue to live his life.
To be fair, though, one of the things they recommend in therapy is that you get outside and you try to, have the stress go away. And so I think that it's an optics problem. However, it's not like he was at a club. In fairness, like Xavier was saying and Symone was saying about the mental health piece, he was outside, he was doing an activity. The problem is it's a rich folk activity for the most part, and it looked like he was having too good of a time. And
Attorney Chaton, order my court. Attorney Chaton, don't make me upset in here. Jet setting is not mentally doing anything but flexing your ability to island hop. Like, what are you talking about? Right? Whitewater rafting, I'll give you, but jet setting, what mental way, what is that helping him mentally do?
He was jet skiing. He was on the ocean. Yeah, he was jet skiing on the ocean. Not I mean, he's probably jet setting too in the islands between the things, but what he was photographing was jet ski.
As I can say one black man to another black man, I hope Diddy is actually taking those action steps that are necessary to be a better man himself, but also try to be a better man for, the people that are close to him. Like if
Right.
you've made mistakes, try to take those steps to be better, not only for yourself, but for the people who care about you, who rely on you, who look up to you. That's all I can hope for him. And if he's whitewater rafting, I'm hoping he's at least being conscious of what's going on. It isn't just kind of like trying to escape, or just trying to ignore the reality of the situation that he's found himself in.
All right, I think we've given a whole button this whole thing up. Let's keep it moving. A&E, the network, is sued over secrets of a Playboy. So A&E is being sued by one of the young ladies that was actually performing dances at the Playboy house. Attorney Xavier, I bet you've been to that Playboy house, and especially after you won Big Brothers. Talk to me about what the nuance of this case is, and why is this in the court of public opinion right here today?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I have not been to the Playboy Mansion. Don't you put that on me, okay? Secondly,
I forgot you're married.
Engaged. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very happily engaged. But we that's my personal life. We getting into the law here.
Okay.
So A&E has a lawsuit over the secrets of Playboy docuseries. Now, what happened here is Jennifer Giragui. Jennifer, I'm just going to call her Jennifer. I apologize, okay. Jennifer. I mispronounced your last name. Basically, she was filmed without her consent back in the day at Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion. She was hired to be a dancer in 2001 or 2002 to work at an event in the mansion. And now some of that footage, she was dancing in nothing but green body paint. So she was practically naked. Okay. And now some of that footage is being used in this docuseries, and she takes issue with that because she feels like it's being used without her consent. My fellow counselors, what do we think about this?
Ooh, sounds to me, that sounds a lot like the drama Kenya got herself into. Because see, Kenya Moore, with her whole debacle and her issue while she was dismissed from Real Housewives, is because she republished a photo of her castmate, Brittany giving fellatio to somebody. Now, ooh. Kenya's position is, hey, it was a public photo. I took a public photo. You're right. But it sounds like Kenya might have been one of those people who got her JD from Google. Okay. Which it's not, because Kenya's position is it's not revenge porn because it was a public photo. The issue becomes if you take it from a public place that didn't have permission to publish it in the first place, you and them are in trouble. And this is why Kenya and them are all in trouble.
All right. So Attorney Chaton and Xavier, you can lean in on this. I have been to the Playboy Mansion, obviously, a couple of times to different parties. There's right. But the deal is whenever you go on that property, there are usually signs letting you know what you're getting into, that you could possibly be photographed. You could possibly be filmed, and especially if there are cameras on the property. So what I want to know is the footage that was shared on A&E, and you guys both know, especially the reality TV individuals, you know everything that A&E puts up on that network screen has to be signed off by legal, has to be signed off by the producers, and has to be signed off by every single image of the person's face that is shown on that television. Attorney Chaton, how did she escape all of this, and why didn't she know?
Well, so you described the process accurately. However, these are her personal rights that she's attempting to assert. So what may have happened is that the show that got the images from the Playboy Mansion got signed off from their legal department that they had the right to use those photos. What she's saying is she never gave her consent. And so if the Playboy Mansion didn't have a consent form signed by her that they could produce, and or there was some gap in their process, because I look at this for clients all the time. Like, you post notices, but often there's a way you can get into the property where the notices aren't seen, and so perhaps where the dancers came in, they didn't see it. I think the time frame is relevant. This is 2001, 2002, where everybody didn't have a camera phone, and so were the notices the same at that time as they were. But what she's saying is she's the plaintiff, right? So she has the burden of proof. She's saying she didn't give her consent. And so all the things from a process perspective that you described will be asserted as defenses, and we'll see how strong they are and whether they hold up.
Attorney Symone Redwine, talk to me here. Does this sound real to you, or does this sound like a money play from a young lady who found a loophole that she could possibly make some money?
So in other words, it sounds like if this happened in 2001, that she's probably somebody's mama now, perhaps grandmama. And it's like, I don't want people out here seeing me shaking my tail feather amongst the masses, halfway booty butt naked. That's more likely the case. But I do believe it's similar to women who have more recently filed claims against the Girls Gone Wild people. And they're actually winning those wholesale. And it's largely because she probably signed a waiver to enter the Playboy Mansion. Actually, not probably. It is the case. All women, and it's my understanding men too. I don't know, Xavier, you can tell us. You have to sign some waiver that says, you're okay with your footage. But here's the thing. Signing away the right to be filmed while you're there, and then signing away the right for it to be used 20 years later when you're showing parts of your body, are two distinct things. In other words, the consent has to be well informed, and it has to be very clear as to what you're giving away. And Al, what you described is what people see nowadays, that the poster board of consent, that's what you see nowadays if you go to a Nicki Minaj concert or Megan Thee Stallion, any of those concerts, because that allows them, for example, to get crowd footage. But with her showing her body, being nude, those kind of things require more explicit consent, so she could actually have valid grounds.
Attorney Xavier, this is what I want you to help me with. All right, as they are putting all of this footage up, as A&E, a company, as a network, is putting all this footage up, and they see a naked young woman in body paint, wouldn't that be a number one concern for whoever that attorney is on that set to say, okay, this woman is in this footage, let's make sure we have her consent?
Yes, I think when you're in scantily clad clothing, that's one thing, and it's teetering the line. But when someone is nude, at that point you're entering a whole new legal realm of consequences.
Right.
So at that point, you're going to want to take extra precautions to make sure that you're covering, pun intended, your ass. So, like, it would make sense that the network would try to do everything in their capabilities to ensure that if someone's going to be shown in this docuseries and they're going to be nude, especially Jennifer, she said in this that she's now married, she's given birth, she's completely moved on from this Playboy persona, and she's trying to start a new life and kind of leave that life behind. If you're the network, you're going to have to assume that some people may stay in that industry, some people may try to live a new life. So you're going to want to be protected on all sides, whether they stay in the industry or whether they try to move a new life, because the people who try to move on from that past are likely going to be the ones that you're going to have to deal with in court.
Absolutely. All right, algoriters, let's throw some of those likes. Let me hit that like button. The likes ain't liking with the views. Hit that like button. If you are subscribed, be sure to hit that share button and keep it coming with the comments. We're loving all your comments. And don't forget, we're going to get to a portion of the show where we're going to answer or try to help you with any of your legal concerns that you may have coming up or going on. All right, everybody, we're going to rotate now. This one, I don't understand how basketball wives have ended up in the court of public opinion. And it's that good old Evelyn Lozada. She has hired a private investigator, and that private investigator has found out that Jackie Christie used to sell her Tussy cat. All right, now this is my issue here. Attorney Symone Redwine, I'm going to throw this to you. Is this legal? Is it legal for her to hire a private investigator, which I know the answer to that is yes, but is it legal for her to film on national television her meeting the findings of the investigation?
I'm so glad that you asked, Al. So the answer is yes. Now, if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you. My channel is called Girl, Is That Legal? Here on YouTube. And I actually do segments on background checks. I actually give people, you can go to my page. There are instructions there on how you can submit a request for a background check. And I reveal the results live. However, Al, the difference is when I do it, I generally blur out important things and I allow people to make the request and come on. You have to come on live to get your answers, but you can be anonymous. Okay. And then I blur out the name of the target person. Now here, because Jackie was her castmate, and I watched the clip of how it was done, she was able to do that because of the fact that this is public information. I actually, because I'm so obsessed with this stuff, I actually became a licensed private investigator. So I actually can and do these things as well myself. And the biggest thing is they have a responsibility to be clear that the information that they found, right, was it under the name of Jackie Christie. At the time, apparently Jackie's been married 4 times. Prior to this broadcast, I did a background check on Jackie my darn self. Miss Thing has been married at least 4 times. She absolutely did have that prostitution charge in 1987, but it was under the name Jackie Marie Wilson. The answer is yes, you can do that because of the fact that this is public information, but you must be very clear that of the name, of the birthday or the age of the person, so that if there's anything incorrect, you've covered your butt, because if you don't do it right, you could set yourself up for a lawsuit.
All right, Attorney Xavier, in the court of public opinion, is this legal?
I'm going to be honest with you, Your Honor. I'm still trying to figure out how the use of the word Tussy in the court of law is. I've never heard that in my experience, Your Honor. So that's really clouding my judgment right now. Can we give Attorney Chaton some time while I just get...
Attorney Turner, what you got for me, baby?
I was struggling with that same thing. I mean, as Symone show's called, is that legal? Another question here is, girl, is that cool? Right? Like, it's the same concept that we were just talking about with the Playboy case. Time has passed. She's a different person. And did she consent for that to be on national TV in that way? I mean, her ability to claim invasion of privacy when she's on a reality TV show seems specious to me, but it wasn't cool. It was designed to embarrass her, and it's unfortunate.
You know what? Speaking of that, Your Honor, I'd like to say I like fairness. You know, if you're going to do wrong right. So tomorrow, come on over to my channel, Girl, Is That Legal? And what I want to do is I want to do a background check on Evelyn Lozada as well. Let's make it fair. They've, she's done one on. I'm going to do Evelyn. And if I really feel squirrely, I might do a daughter. I don't know. But I just feel like.
Right now. Order in the court. Hold on now. Order in my court.
What her daughter do? Why her daughter get
order in my court? Now we're gonna do all that good background check. We need to do it.
Just come on over to my channel tomorrow.
We need to do it on the court of public opinion ladies' night on Friday or something hot like that. Okay, so I just want to be very clear. It is okay to legally run a background check on someone, not yourself, all right, and reveal the findings on national television recorded without anyone's consent. Am I hearing, counselors, all three, am I hearing that this is legal?
Well, what she did was legal. There are limitations. If you're doing like Fair Credit Reporting Act stuff and certain information, you can't just go in and get about people and publicize it. But if you're talking about things that are a matter of the results of litigation, criminal or civil litigation, which are public in the public record, then that is something that really anybody who's motivated can do, and there's no restriction about that.
Yeah, go
ahead, Xavier.
Oh no, I was just gonna say a lot of what was revealed are things that could be found in public record. If you just go to the jurisdiction in which the case was had, look it up in the important document, you can usually find the details of that case. And it sounds like that's kind of what the private investigator did here. And like those matters that are open to the general public, that there's no violation there.
Gotcha.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
And
All right.
more
So let's
specifically-
keep it moving.
Well, I
We're
want to be
running out of time here,
Okay.
Attorney Symone Redwine. Sorry. All
No
right.
problem.
Next up. All right. So if you're liking what you're hearing, don't forget to throw those red wine emojis for Symone Redwine. Don't forget to throw that fire in there for Attorney Chaton Turner. Don't forget to hit those fax emojis for myself, the judge, and our newcomer, Attorney Xavier. He wants the bald head. Let's see some bald heads in that chat. And before we close it out, we're going to talk about something. Grambling University has ended up in the court of public opinion. Grambling University players are suing the NCAA over discrimination against HBCUs. Now, you guys know that this judge right here teaches at a HBCU, and I can't wait to hear Attorney Xavier unpack this case for us. And how is it possible that their players are suing the NCAA? Attorney Xavier.
I got you, Your Honor. So at Grambling University, the women's basketball player Brenda McKinney is sued the NCAA for discriminating against HBCU institutions through its academic reform programs. McKinney's arguing that the NCAA included metrics in its academic performance program, abbreviated to APP, that it knew would have a discriminatory effect on its HBCU members.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny because in recent years, particularly in the realm of collegiate athletics, with the move to now players and athletes being able to profit off their name, image, and likeness, we're seeing a lot of litigation against the NCAA now that players feel empowered to take action. And this is what we're seeing. And this lawsuit I find interesting. I'm curious to see how it will develop. Just based off my knowledge, with this lawsuit coming from Brenda McKinney and Grambling University, they're going to have a hard burden to prove because the NCAA has a lot of bylaws in place to protect themselves from litigation such as this.
Now, Attorney Xavier, you used to be a student athlete, if I'm not mistaken. And in fact, you used to play basketball at your college, at your university. So this hits home for you. So when you say the burden of proof is going to be difficult, explain to me, what do you mean? Why would the burden of proof be difficult if she's saying the metrics that you're using is biased?
So the NCAA, when you become a member of the NCAA as a student athlete, a lot of your rights are kind of you agree to so much when you sign that national letter of intent. You give the NCAA so much authority over a lot of your life.
Got it.
So with this lawsuit, it's going at the core of one of the NCAA bylaws. The question will be whether or not the courts feel like the NCAA has
faulty bylaw.
Yeah, followed that bylaw, or if they've been egregious in their treatment of these HBCUs.
Got it.
And so I'm curious to see, because if the NCAA is found to be in violation of their own bylaws, we'll probably see more HBCUs bringing forward similar suits.
Okay, Attorney Redwine, what are your thoughts in watching a young Black female bring this type of lawsuit, which is this is record breaking, right? This is groundbreaking. This is next level. What are your thoughts on this, and what are your hopes for her outcome?
I didn't think it was a good idea for it to be a female athlete in a sport that doesn't make as much money as male athletes, because it's difficult to compare apples to oranges. It's easier to win when you're doing apples to apples. So with women's basketball, white schools, Black schools, any of the schools, it just makes less money. So I'm curious why they selected her. My guess is going to be she's probably an excellent student. She probably has excellent grades. She's kind of like how they picked Rosa Parks, even though she wasn't the first or the first person that, that happened to. But I think that that might be a risky strategy, simply because it would be easier to compare the poor treatment of male basketball at HBCUs to it at predominantly white schools.
All right, everybody. This is that time of the show Thank you, everybody, for your lean in on the Grambling University players suing the NCAA. This is the time of the show that we go to your questions and try to answer any that you may have. All right, first up, we have starred Sonny Clark. He should just ask for a lump sum to start a business for himself. It looks better to courts. Am I right? Who? He should just ask for a lump sum to start a business for himself. It looks better to courts. Am I right? What? I'm not sure.
He's referring to that question is about Rachel Lindsay.
Okay.
And Attorney Chaton mentioned, in addition to the $17,000 a month, he wants, I think it's a $200,000 payment because that is related to the home. So he wants both. But the problem with the lump sum is if she doesn't have it, it's easier to get your former spouse to give you monthly payments, is my understanding. Guys?
Okay.
There's that, and there's also two different calculations, right? So what's probably happening behind closed doors is that his lawyer is trying to assert some lump sum that she'd be comfortable paying, and then she wouldn't have to pay him the monthly spousal support. But as I indicated before, the spousal support is a function of a formula, and it's also designed to prevent him from being destitute. So the strongest argument for her attorney is to prove what his earning power is to try to undercut his entitlement to what the law indicates that he should. It's going to be harder in California, and it's a community property state. And so that's why everybody who lives in California should move to like South Carolina.
Or Texas, right? Because you don't have to pay.
Or get a prenup.
Or get a prenup. All right, let's keep it moving. Make it make sense. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Make it make sense for the donation. He said Diddy needs a chastity belt and rehab. I don't know the way he's shaped these days. I don't know if a chastity belt is big enough, but rehab I do support. All right, Billy B said, shouldn't his ass be in jail? Let's be 100. I'm assuming that he's talking about Diddy. Chaton, what are your thoughts on this?
Jail is a definite possibility. As Symone indicated, the grand jury's meeting as we speak. The grand jury is evaluating criminal charges against him. If he gets indicted, he is going to have to defend against those. And jail may definitely be a place where Diddy finds himself spending some time.
All right, Attorney Xavier, do you think, he deserves to go to jail? I mean, he's a movie star. I mean, he's a star. He's a rock star. He's a rapper. This type of fast cars, fast women, and drugs and alcohol is his life. He's been singing about it forever. Does he deserve jail?
I mean, given the allegations against him, jail cell might be a good new look for him. Might be something he maybe need to take an interest in, and maybe he needs to sit in there and take some time to really, like I said, I do think the public has a high level of scrutiny for black men, but like, bruh, how many allegations has it been? Like, come on. As much as we want to stand with you, at the same time, we have to be realistic and fully believe. At some point, you have to believe what's being brought forth, especially after seeing that footage. Like, come on.
Right. Attorney Symone, maybe he and R. Kelly can form a choir or a band group.
Oh my God, I would love that.
In prison.
I would totally speak at that prison. And I could be the soprano.
I mean, he is innocent until proven guilty, but I do think that the lesson, and it's funny you mentioned R. Kelly because I was thinking about him too. The lesson with both Diddy and R. Kelly, I think, is in what hubris does to people when they get money and they feel like they're above the law. So I don't know how this is going to turn out for Diddy, but his behavior indicates a level of recklessness that comes from arrogance when people think that rules don't apply to them.
All right, I heard it live. You heard it right here on the Court of Public Opinion from that firecracker. No wonder she likes fire. That's her emoji. Throw some fire in that chat. All right, next up we have the Wiley Show. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wiley Show, for that donation. He said Diddy went down. Biggie Small's mother prayers was answered. All right, you're right. Terry Rye, am I saying that right? Terry says, by her being at the Playboy Mansion, can't they imply consent? I think we talked about that. Attorney Xavier, do you want to lean in on that, just for a little second?
Well, Your Honor, from what you said about your happenings at the Playboy Mansion, I wouldn't know because I am a very faithful fiance. What signs they have up there, Your Honor? And if the signs do not fit, I must acquit.
You would never step foot on the Playboy Mansion.
I have no business being there. I don't need to be there. I'm good at home.
All right, let's keep it moving. Billy Littles, thank you so much, Billy Littles. Your support means the world to us over here at the Court of Public Opinion. He said, I hope you're feeling as great and healthy as you are looking now. You are loved, appreciated, and respected. And don't you ever forget it. Billy Littles, thank you so much. And right back at you. I appreciate you and respect you just as much. All right, Brandy Gardner, she said, how should Jackie retaliate legally? Ooh, that's a good one. How should Jackie retaliate legally? All right, Symone Redwine, I see you're ready for this. What would you do if you were Jackie Christie?
So legally, all she can do is tell her story. As long as everything is accurate and it actually happened, no crime has occurred. She just needs to live her best life because Evelyn Lozada was out here peep popping for rent. Okay, she literally has to keep having babies with men in order to make sure she can stay afloat. And her last baby she had with Carl Crawford from Texas, where technically his child support is capped at $2,300. So really, it seems as though Evelyn Lozada is just mad that she's got poor pussy management.
Oh God! Oh, order in my court!
I'm sorry, Anna.
Order in my court! Order in my court!
I'm sorry, Anna.
I don't even know. I can remember it.
You want to bang the gavel and she didn't drop the keyboard?
I'm sorry, Anna.
What is going on in the Court of Public Opinion?
I don't like that type of behavior. It was so ugly. Jackie was in foster care at the time when she was doing those things. For all we know, she was doing that for tampons, deodorant. She's trying to get out the group home.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
I don't like that. I don't like mean people.
Okay, ladies, calm down. I know we got a new expert.
Can I say one quick thing, Judge?
Yes.
One quick thing, Judge. And this isn't a funny thing. I just wanted to go back to Brandy's question. What I would do if I was in private practice, and maybe even do pro bono for Jackie, because that whole thing about the tampons and the deodorant pulled at my heartstrings. I would try to assert harassment and intentional infliction of emotional distress claim, regardless of the fact that it was true information, to say that Evelyn's intent was to harm her. I don't know if it would go anywhere, but I think it could pass muster and pass a motion to dismiss and could at least be heard. And maybe we could get some of that money from Evelyn from the
Come on, firecracker Chaton. Come on, attorney Chaton. You better earn your seat tonight. I see you. And Karma Lay, I think that's how you said, could Jackie sue Evelyn for psychological damages? All right, we just heard attorney Chaton just spoke into that. Let's keep it moving. Shannon Farmer says, we got chicks out here landing low and spreading it wide for a meal. How long ago was this? But Evelyn slanging Tussy for a baller. Uh-oh. All right, I don't think that's a question. I think that's a statement. Let's keep going. Karma Lay says, at Al Reynolds, could Jackie sue El? Yes, we just answered that. All right, let's keep it going. This is Sar Barbarex 969. Oh, I don't know what that is. Anybody know what that is?
Nobody knows what that is. We don't know that word. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Open source intelligence.
I'm look up the definition for Tussy because it keeps getting brought up.
I don't have it
in my notes, Your Honor. I wasn't prepared for the Tussy usage.
Well, y'all, he put his glasses on.
I gotta be official. I gotta read here.
Attorney Redwine, would you like to explain to Counselor Xavier what a Tussy cat is?
I think it's a girl's bottom that is YouTube appropriate for monetization purposes. I think because I know a bussy is a boy's bottom.
Okay, whoa. Now see this is the new term.
Right.
Here we go. New term. Gotta add it. Here we go.
Don't the male guests have to stand up and turn around? Didn't we hear that? No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
Okay, y'all are doing.
No, the hell they don't.
Y'all are doing.
This ain't doing a damn thing. Nope. He's gonna sit right here and write down the Bussy Bussi. I saw in the comment. Bussi. Got it. Thank you, Your Honor, for allowing me this sidebar. I appreciate it.
You've learned something you didn't learn in law school right here in the court of
I learned so much, Your Honor. I was not prepared. I was
All
not.
right, we got two more, y'all. Two more death gods. Most judges are tough and firm with attorneys. He's playing the role. Relax, people. All right, thank you, Dev guys. Some people just want something to complain about. I don't understand. All right, and we're back with Brandy Gardner again. She said, "Can the family of Kiki from Love and Marriage Huntsville sue OWN?" We're not talking about that one, but maybe we should put that in the lineup for Friday. So, Brandy Gardner, please come back and check us out Friday. All right, everybody, it's that time of the show where the attorneys and counselors that's sitting on the panel tonight will give their verdict, and I'll give mine on the topics that we covered. First up, guilty or not guilty? Is Rachel Lindsay's husband guilty of trying to take advantage of our beloved Rachel Lindsay? Attorney Xavier, what say you? Is he guilty or not guilty of taking advantage?
I'm Team Rachel. That's my girl, so I'm saying he's guilty.
All right, Attorney Chaton Turner, what are your thoughts? Is he guilty or not guilty, or is it legal?
He is guilty of being a broke ass, underperforming, exploitative punk.
Oh God!
Oh,
What's happening in the court? What is happening in my courtroom?
We are sick of this.
What is happening in my courtroom, Attorney?
These
Attorney,
poor people are trying to ruin us.
Attorney Redwine, can you please, Attorney Redwine, guilty or not guilty?
Oak Cliff girls got to stick together. Me and Rachel Lindsay. That man is guilty. Get a job.
All right. In the court of public opinion, I'm Al serving as the judge, and we're going to find the husband or ex-husband of Rachel Lindsay guilty. Guilty is charged of taking advantage of our beautiful Rachel. Not in our courtroom. It will never happen. And not to our history maker of our first Black female bachelorette, who brought the ratings to a soaring number that we've never seen on national television. All right, next up, the ex-adult video star sues Diddy. Is she guilty or not guilty of exploiting her opportunity as a victim? Attorney Redwine, what say you?
I'm gonna say not guilty. She ain't never been nowhere. She ain't never had shit. She don't know no better. Not guilty.
Okay, Attorney Xavier, what are your thoughts on here? Is she guilty or not guilty?
I'm gonna say not guilty. If she's getting asked to be interviewed by some of these major networks or some of these like big organizations, they likely have the money to comply with some of her demands. And I want to preface this: just because you ask for things doesn't mean you're gonna get all of them. Like, she's asking for stuff, she might only get some of them, but you don't get anything that you don't ask for. My mama said that closed mouth don't get fed. So if you want something, ask for it.
That part.
Attorney Chaton, is he guilty or not guilty?
I think she's not guilty because she's alleging some pretty horrific things. So the least she can do is be comfortable as she has to go and relive this horrific events.
Look
All
at
right,
that picture. I was taken in a project bathroom. She
Oh,
had
stop!
Okay,
Hold on.
her entire life.
In the court of public opinion, I, Al Reynolds, the judge, find her, the adult video star, not guilty, but find Diddy guilty of charge of everything that she says. Next up, we have A&E sued over the secrets of a Playboy. Is Playboy or A&E guilty or not guilty of getting this woman's consent? Attorney Chaton Turner, what say you?
I'm actually going to go with not guilty since you're prefacing requiring a position, because the reason this case has been asserted means that she passed a motion to dismiss. So there's some holes in this consent argument.
All right, Attorney Xavier, what say you?
I say, I don't know, Your Honor. I'm thinking. I'm gonna side with Attorney Chaton. I think this is not guilty in this matter. I'm curious to see how this develops. I want to get a little more facts behind this case, but at this point in time, I'm going to elect not guilty. this may change.
All right, Attorney Redwine, what say you?
All I know is if you took pictures of my pussy 20 years ago, you can't cash out on them now.
Okay, so is she guilty or not guilty?
She is not guilty.
All right, in the court of public opinion, Al Reynolds being the judge, we're going to find this poor young lady, in my opinion, is guilty. Guilty for trying to drag Annie in the Playboy house. We know why you were there slinging that Tussy cat around, and now because
you are worse than Judge Glenn.
She is guilty as charged. I find her guilty in the court of public opinion.
They were whether or not A&E was guilty. That's what we answered. Yeah, we responded to different questions.
Okay. Well, I find her guilty and A&E not guilty. A&E is not guilty. Guilty. All right, Evelyn Lozada. Evelyn Lozada, is she guilty or not guilty of, well, legally, what would she, well, this is legal versus ethics, right? Is she guilty of not having any ethics? Attorney Chaton.
that she ain't got no ethics. Yeah, she guilty of that.
All right, Symone says guilty. Chaton, is Evelyn guilty or not guilty?
She's not guilty under the law, but she's guilty of being a horrible human.
All right, Xavier, what say you? Is it okay for Jackie Christie to throw her Tussy cat around for money or not?
In my legal opinion, in the eyes of the law, I don't think what she did was illegal, so not guilty. But is it something that I would condone people do outside of the law? Probably not a good look.
All right, in the court of public opinion, Al Reynolds, I'm going to find Evelyn Lozada legally not guilty, but ethically guilty. Guilty as charged. This is going to be a good season. I promise you, I'm going to be tuned in because I want to see what Jackie Christie's snapback is going to be. All right, last up, the Grambling University player is suing the NCAA. Is the NCAA guilty or not guilty of racial discrimination? Attorney Symone Redwine, what say you?
Oh, they did that shit.
Is that guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right, Attorney Chaton, guilty or not guilty?
Again, because you're pushing me, I'm going to go with not guilty only
Really?
Because in some of the writings, they said she had a standing issue. And so I kind of need to get more information. But I think that NCAA is exposed in a lot of ways. But I'm going to go with not guilty.
Wait a minute. What kind of girl is this?
Okay, hold on, please.
No, don't go there. Don't go there, honey.
Well, you said standing. You said standing.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Please.
All right.
Attorney Xavier.
Requires more notes.
Please save us.
Yes. Sorry, Your Honor. I apologize for the delay. So based off the NCAA argued that they believe that Ms. McKinney doesn't have standing, and just in my familiarity with the NCAA bylaws, I do think this is going to be an uphill battle. So if with regards to whether or not we find the NCAA guilty, I'm going to say probably not guilty.
All right, in the court of public opinion, I'm Al, and I'm the judge, and I'm going to find the NCAA guilty. Guilty. Years of taking advantage of athletes that look like you and I. Years of taking advantage of us, likeness, and making all types of money off our backs. Give us our money back. Guilty. All right, everyone, that concludes another night of the court of public opinion. Be sure to hit that like button. Please sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, be sure to hit that share button and turn on your notifications because we're going to have a hot show for you this Friday. We want to thank our new legal expert, Xavier, for joining us tonight and all the algorithms for joining in. I appreciate you with all of your support. And thank you for being so kind as I was in Greece, medically unable to get back over in here and had to miss a Monday night show. Everyone have a good night, and thank you for tuning in.